Coach. Thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Indianapolis Colts. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Watch 54. Watch 54. We own them. We own them. Show an 8. Show an 8. Monday.
Now a first down throw. Luck. Under pressure, and down he goes. Luck is sacked. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16.
Watch the curl. 11. Right there. 54. Right there. 54, Mike. On. Check. Go ahead.
Throwing is Luck. And the catch made by Hilton. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
A gain of 17 yards. That's good for the Colts. First down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
I'm coming. Hey,
The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
Right, 622. Gone right. Mike, 54. 65.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Luck. Campbell making the catch. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
54. Ain't no such thing as a loss. We taking wins.
Throwing on 3rd down. Luck. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
At their own 28-yard line.
Let's go now. 60 or. Mike. He don't know no better. Look at me. Zipper. Let's go.
They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman. Able to shake free for about 7 up to the 35.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Hey, we got 3 down.
Ready. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Stanley. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3.
Mike's 59. Hey, Haywood. Watch the run. Let's go.
Looking to throw. Stanley. Looking left sideline. It's complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there.
Steeler first down.
On the set.
Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 47. They'll run with Foreman. And he's going to be met at about the 43. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The throw down the field, caught by his running back. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Boswell good with the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Here we go.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Even the greats in this game, and he certainly qualifies as one of them, they're going to have trouble if they continue to throw into double coverage.
And he better be careful. Throwing into too much double coverage might have a couple of them picked off. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw is Locke. Looking for Campbell downfield. And that going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, and have them back on their heels.
The threat of a 2nd straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10.
Joker. Hey, check.
A shotgun snap for Locke. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Sean Davis with a pick. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, right? Because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And let's pin the mirrors back and go full strength. Sponge. No.
On 3rd down, Foreman. And an alley to run. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Extra point put through by Boswell. And that'll make the score 14-0. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The The Indy offense at the line and set to go. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. On second down, here's Mixon. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
The Steelers now in the nickel here on third down.
I'm coming!
From the gun, here's Luck. Under pressure, and down he goes. Luck is sacked. Bud Dupree with a big-time sack on third down. It's a loss of 7. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll punt it away for the second time. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. Now a fair catch taken just across midfield, maybe by a yard or 2. Well, pretty woeful there. Just 23 yards on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
Let's go!
And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Steeler football here to begin quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Here's Foreman. Trying to run inside, but nothing there.
Let's go.
Jamal Sheard on the stop. This
do.
defense could use a few more plays like that right now.
It certainly could, but think about it from an offense's perspective right now. They've got a lead, but they don't want to throttle down too much and stall themselves. Still want to move at a nice pace.
To throw on second down. Stanley nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. So it's 3rd and long, and defensively, not a real surprise there in the dime. From the gun, Stanley. And that is incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
On 4th down, here comes the Steeler punter Jordan Berry to kick it away. Yeah, last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. So that'll be marked down as a 19-yard punt. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. you're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off, his biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? A gain of 6 there on first.
Not today, baby.
To number 88. A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 31-yard line.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Go.
A carry for Foreman, and he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Let him go by a little too easily there.
Well, that's what we saw on film, isn't it? His head goes down oftentimes when he goes to punch, when he's trying to block. And when you do that, you can't see your target. He went right past him and made the play.
26, Mike. Go, go, go.
From the gun on 3rd down. Stanley, open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10.
First down, Pittsburgh.
Ready? 26, Mike.
Stop your whining.
Field left, field left.
Watch 30.
On first down, Foreman. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
At the 12-yard line.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun, Stanley. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
He went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
The Steelers on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
I'm coming.
From the gun, Stanley. This will be caught at about the 5. And he will not be able to get the first as he can get this only down to the 5. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And Boswell's kick is good. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
Bring it up.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've got nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me at a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
Hey, come on out here. Come get some. Come get some. Come out here. Come get some.
It's caught by Aguilar.
SOS. 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 They don't want it, fellas. They don't want it.
Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend.
Alert, alert. Hey, watch Sam. Check, Mike.
On 2nd down, Nixon.
Safe.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
First and 10 at the 36-yard line.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another first and 10.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, yo. Let's make these babies. Check.
Mike's 54. Mike.
Back to throw. Love. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
38-yard line.
Check out. 54 Mike. You ain't going nowhere. Kill. Mexico.
From the gun to give to Mixon. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
Now Love. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
This defense not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
A 55-yard attempt.
And this one is no good. He missed it. And this score will stay right where it is.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24.
26 Mike.
All day.
Back to throw. Stanley. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. Became an all-arm throw trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. This time they stay on the ground, and they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? Now the Colts going to burn the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Barry on to punt as he gets this one away. And it's taken in at the 9. So a change of possession here on the punt. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
Boy, he ran free there after the catch as that winds up going for 38.
First and 10 at the 47-yard line.
The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10.
Two tights. We got three down.
A final shot before the break. Luck. Complete to Hilton. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. Now Greg Zuerlein. We all remember the 57-yarder that sent the Rams to the Super Bowl. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. Now Greg Zuerlein. We all remember the 57-yarder that sent the Rams to the Super Bowl. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line.
At their own 24-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustmts that might be made defensively. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Hey, high 7. Let's go.
2nd and 2.
Right there, 54 Mike.
Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only the DB's going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily, fell incomplete. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2.
That's what I do. Hey. Motion. General West. Ready?
Looking to throw. Stanley. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It'll be a gain of 17 at a Pittsburgh first.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion.
2nd and 9 at their 49-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They run again with Foreman. And he's going to take this one across midfield and into Colts territory. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Army.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stanley. And that will be incomplete. Well, those two have hooked up for a touchdown once already in this game, that time unable to find the completion.
Yeah, it just appeared they wanted to get him out into open space and try and get him the football. As you mentioned, unable to connect.
Here's Jordan Berry now, as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. And that will go out of the back of the end zone. Way too much mustard. Not a good punt, and it will come out to the 20. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10, kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use, just something to get you off to a quick start.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Let's go, D. It's going to be a long 12. It's going to be a long day.
They'll fake it. Now Lop.
Watch the slip. Watch the slip.
He's got it to Hilton. The 40. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's
Luck
go.
to Hilton on the hook up there. And even 60 yards. So the field flips here as they'll go to work at the 20 now on 1st and 10.
Don't say nothing.
Check 43.
12. Hey, Echo.
54's Mike.
From the red zone now, Locke.
That's right, baby. They don't want it.
And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Steven Nelson able to get a hand in coverage.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Check 99.
Let's go, Mexico.
To the air again, Locke. That's complete to his receiver, Kane. And he coughed it up. And it's picked up by the Steelers.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Throwing to start the drive. Stanley. Grover Stewart forced his way through, drops him for a loss of 10 yards.
Like how they started the 3rd quarter here. They forced a punt on the 1st drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their 2nd win coming out of the locker room. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Back to throw. Stanley. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And out across midfield down to the 45. That one good for 26 and a 1st down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
At the Colts' 45-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Mike, 54. Let's go, tight end. Let's go right here now. Hey, Zoo. 54's Mike. 54's Mike. Check. Watch out.
Operating from the gun. Stanley. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stanley. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted. but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
Had a bit of a lane there, took advantage of it. Give them 7 there on the first down carry. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
It's a party now. It's a party now.
From the 38, Luck. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Bud Dupree able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Hey, watch Sam. Check Mike 54. Mike 54.
3rd and long, it's Luck. And Luck will be intercepted for a 3rd time. Picked off right around the 43. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. Now a first down carry for Harris. The tackle made there by Tack McKinley.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the 3rd quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the 4th quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
They'll run. Here's Harris. He's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35.
I know you feel that.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. Not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 4.
Check hot route. Hot. Topper. Hey, Delta. Say go.
From the gun, Stanley. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds.
At their own 29-yard line.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
Watch the slant. He's coming. We got double up.
Again, it's Mixon. And he's got room. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Now, that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
Hey, Sam. Run, 674. Mike 54.
I got him.
Run, protect.
On 2nd down now, it's Hines. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
Completes it to Aguilar. And he is going to lose yardage here. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on third. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it.
Mike's 54. Smooth. 54. Bandit. Bandit. Right there. 54. Right there. Right there. 50.
Colts going on fourth. It's locked. This complete left side to Aguilar. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Hey, watch Sam, watch Sam. Check Mike 54. Mike 54.
Running the sweep, Hilton with it. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Now that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Watch 54. Hey, man. 11. Watch the boots.
Now a play fake, and it's locked. Under pressure, and down he goes. Luck is sacked. Fletcher Cox able to record his 5th sack of the season.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
All right, T, let's. All right, T.
Here's Locke. Aguilar has it. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 41-yard line. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center. You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off? Not yet. Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Fletcher Cox in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle.
You gonna see me in your nightmares, son. You gonna see me in your nightmares.
Throwing is locked. And he hits his tight end, Ebron. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4. And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
Hey, orbit.
Right there. 54. Right there. 54, Mike.
3rd and 2, Locke. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he is going to get the first down as he covers up after a pretty good shot there. So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
Check 52. Check. Hey, exit. Hey, watch Sam. Check Mike.
Now a first down throw, Locke.
Watch the twist.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down. This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it. They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe you can expect more passes like that downfield. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28.
Mike's 50.
Luck throwing again. He's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone. Well, interceptions have been a problem in this one. If he could have gotten his feet down here, it would have been another.
Would have been a huge one. They've had a great game taking the ball away. Thought they had another one, just unable to get those cleats in bounds.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
Hey, Haywood.
Again, Luck. And he connects with Ebron. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 14. Finally, a first red zone opportunity for these guys. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. Throwing again is Luck. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by the former first-rounder Artie Burns.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. And he'll get this up past the 5 to the 7-yard line. Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense.
They run with Harris. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
And on 3rd and 8, defensively, they're going to beef up the secondary. 6 defensive backs. Now a give, right side. Foreman. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. That'll be good for 6, but now it's 4th down. Here's Jordan Berry now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Yeah, that's a 48-yard punt with a coverage holding him to 3 on the return. And control of the football switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a staple for you and should work better and try and execute that on the way out the door and maybe get back to base and feel a little bit better as you end a ball game that's been a frustrating one for you.
We'll see if they go back to base. So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it was a bit of a strange game. They were held scoreless through the entire second half, but their first half output, that's enough to carry them to victory.
And that's an odd game to watch, isn't it? Because when we saw the output in the first half, you think to yourself, okay, they've got something working here. They know what they're doing. They'll continue that along. But instead, it's goose eggs in the second half. Fortunately, enough of a cushion and enough defense to carry them home.
So for Pittsburgh, it'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Meanwhile, for the Colts, they'll sink now to 0-4. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.